you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
But to be honest with you right now, I don't want to be in a relationship.
Yeah,
I'm okay with being by myself. I've gotten hurt in the past. We can be friends. We can chill, but nah.
Why a pretty girl like you
I'm good on my own.
want to be single? You need a man like me in your life. You need a man like me. Why a pretty girl like you want to be single? You need a man like me in your life. You need a man like me. See how you pretty and you beautiful, and you want to be single. You put a man like me in your life. You put a man like me. Last night while laying on my bed, I get flashes of you in my head. I remember the taste of your lips and the style when you walk in the swing of your hips. Girl, guess I telling you for real. You know how I feel for you is real. They say man
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Good evening, I'm Ivona John Baptist Luge. In the headlines, close to 1,000 groups and individuals have registered for the official opening and national parade for Mass Dominic 2025. In news from the region, St. Vincent and the Grenadines sees a record 25% surge in stay-over arrivals for 2024. And on the international front, TikTok ban will be the first test for U.S. President-elect Donald Trump as dealmaker-in-chief. The details follow.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS News.
And we thank you for joining us this evening. Close to 1,000 groups and individuals have registered for the official opening and national parade for Mass Dominic 2025. Communications specialist at Discover Dominic Authority, Monel Alexis, says tomorrow's showcase of Dominica's Mass is expected to create a buzz around the world. The event begins at Pottersville at 3 in the afternoon.
It is anticipated to be a very energetic and spectacular display of all things Dominica for Mass Dominic. So we start 3 p.m. and we begin at the Pottersville waterfront. So we're asking the floats and bands to assemble on the E.O. Libla Highway between Public Works Department and Steber Street. And from the assemblage point, the parade will move southward along E.O. Libla Highway, southward along Goodwill Road onto Independence Street, southward along Independence Street, westward along King George V Street, northward along Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard, eastward along Kennedy Avenue, and then onto the Windsor Park Sports Stadium for the after party. So the after party, there's a band splash happening at the forecourt of the stadium at the end of the parade, sometime about 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. Something very interesting is going to be happening on the Bayfront. So about 4:30 p.m., we want everyone to congregate, come around the Bayfront. Something spectacular is going to be happening. The first thing we're going to do is the tribute for Crazy T. We value his contributions to Mass Dominic over the years. So a tribute will be done for him there. And we're going to get the keys to the city. So the Mayor of Roseau will hand over the key to Mr. Gerald Kuzlatik, who is the chair of Dominica Festivals Committee. And after that, the excitement continues. So there's a stage on the Bayfront, different bands, they will cross the stage, and before they get off the stage, they will do a nice little display for us at the Bayfront. So if you want to witness the display from the different bands and the different groups, then you have to be at the Bayfront from about 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. And the after party, again, very exciting. We have acts like Triple K performing. There is all different sunrise artists who are performing. There's Litterman, there's Nai, there's a Kwan performing, DJ Taffy performing at the after party. And admission is only $15 EC. It will start about 7:30 and run until 10 p.m.
Ayodele Andrew is events manager. We just heard from the communication specialist at Discover Dominica Authority. Let's hear from Ayodele Andrew, who is the events manager at the DDA.
There are a few elements. I think there's quite a bit of excitement because for Dominica, you know, like the eyes of the world is on us because must commend our artists. Bouillon Music has been penetrating, you know, the entertainment market, music fets all around the world. And I mean that when I say it. For Mass Dominic 2025, it's like we're under the microscope. So we want to ensure that we show the world really who we are. And because they'll be looking in. And that is something that we want to really feature at the official opening and national parade. So the parade commences along the E.O. Libla Highway into Roseau as the route that has been established. And the parade commences at 3 p.m. and comes along. When the parade comes along to the Bayfront, we have the major spectacle as the bands are crossing along. So all the groups, bands, everybody participating in the parade will go across that stage, across that performance area, and then the parade continues on. Would you believe me if I tell you how many participants we have in the parade? We're nearly at 1,000 registered individuals in terms of numbers. And we think that there are some people who have not registered who may show up. These are the people who are registered. Nearly 1,000 people registered, ready to give you a taste, a snippet of what Dominica Carnival is, about who we are as a people, our history, our cultural heritage on full display.
And that was events manager of Discover Dominica Authority, Ayodele Andrew. Minister of State in the Ministry of Public Works and Public Utilities, Shakira Lockhart-Hipolite, says government has made significant investments into Dominica's water systems. The minister led a site visit to Antrim, the Kalinago territory, Wesley, and Pebush this morning.
To get water to our homes, it comes at a cost. And as we saw this morning on our first stop, we stopped at Antrim, where we viewed the lab. And I must say, government has made significant investment in the lab. So Dominicans can be rest assured that the water coming to their homes are quality water. That water has been tested. We also went to the filtration area where we saw, and the engineers there gave us a whole synopsis as to what is done. And the cost of that project is about $33 million. So that is a lot of money. That's a big investment. We also went to the Kalinago territory where there were some investments made as a result of the East Coast Road project, where several pipes were laid. And so, as I said earlier, I particularly love the design of that project because no longer DOASCO will be digging up our well-paved roads. We also went to the Joe Burton site, and the people of Wesley and Woodford Hill should be very happy because they initially had a 60,000 gallon tank and now they have a 500,000 gallon tank. And that is a remarkable improvement in that project will serve the entire Wesley Woodford Hill community, and currently it serves the construction of the international airport. The intention is for another tank to be constructed. From my understanding, that tank might be a 200,000 gallon tank, which will be particularly for the international airport. So there's a lot of investments, and now we are here in Pebush. That's a $2.4 million project, a BNTF project.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Public Works and Public Utilities, Shakira Lockhart-Hipolite. General Manager of the WASCO, Bernard Etinoff, says a water treatment facility for Dominica is set to be completed at the end of March.
So the water is first pre-treated, that's taking off all the debris, all the suspended solids from there, and then it goes into this other tank there, and from there it goes down to further treatment at the treatment plant we just came from, where we have the major filters, slow sand filters, and then we chlorine it and distribute. So even when the river is brown and dirty, people complain less for no water in the city of Roseau and environs now, because we have this system where we can pre-treat the water, then treat the water, and then supply it to people. The only thing with that is when all of this is taking place, the volumes are lessened a little bit, because we still have a couple of things to do to hook up all the filters down there so the maximum volume can be sustained. But we are working towards it. This project is expected to be fully completed at the end of March 2025.
General Manager of the WASCO, Bernard Etinoff. Dominica's minimum wage is to be reviewed this year. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says the mechanism will be put in place next month to better advise government on the matter.
One of the things that we're going to be looking at this year is the issue of the minimum wage. We reviewed it a few years ago, but we recognize that the issue of cost of living is affecting some families, and those who are under the minimum wage, who do not have the ability to negotiate their own wage, that the government has to find a way of addressing their wage situation, to give them the increased buffer between what they're getting and the cost of goods and services. And so we'll be putting a mechanism in place next month so we can advise the cabinet on what will be the new rates for minimum wage in Dominica, to give those of us who want the minimum wage a better opportunity in Dominica. And so we are committed and dedicated to the future. All of these projects, they're all interconnected.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. In more news this morning, parliamentary representative for Roseau Central says their constituency is ready to receive thousands of revelers who will descend on Roseau for the opening of the carnival season tomorrow. This year, the route for the opening will be different, as groups will leave Pottersville at 3 and parade onto the Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard.
So today, I invite you to celebrate Roseau, our nation's heartbeat, and the center stage where carnival magic comes alive. Our streets, so rich with history, are about to transform into a vibrant display of color, rhythm, and culture. A true showcase of what makes Dominica extraordinary. Mas Dominic is a living, breathing expression of who we are as a people. It celebrates our creativity, our heritage, and our deep connection to one another. It is a time for all of us to come together as one community, united by the joyous rhythms of calypso and bouillon and the dazzling craftsmanship of our costumes. But Mas Dominic is also an engine for growth. It powers our local economy, opening doors for our small businesses, our vendors, our artisans to all thrive.
Parliamentary representative for Roseau Central, Melissa Popon Skerrit, she says each individual needs to ensure that Roseau is kept in a state to welcome visitors.
As visitors flood into our city, they experience the warmth of our hospitality, the richness of our culture, and the vibrancy of our streets. Roseau is ready to welcome them with open arms. So today I want to acknowledge the tremendous effort it takes to bring this celebration to life. To the residents of Roseau, the hard-working businesses, our dedicated sponsors, the law enforcement officers, and every single organizer, thank you. Thank you for your exceptional contributions. As we prepare to immerse ourselves in the revelry, let us also commit to keeping Roseau clean, safe, and welcoming for all. Carnival belongs to each of us, and it is our collective responsibility to preserve the beauty and the joy that it brings. So as the rhythms of Mas Dominic begin to pulse through our city, I encourage everyone to dive into the festivities with energy and pride. Let's show the world why Roseau is the undisputed capital of Carnival in Dominica. Mas Dominic 2025 has arrived. I welcome you to the city of Roseau.
Roseau Central MP Melissa Popon Skerrit. In more news this evening, head of the UB Global Campus Dominica, Dr. Kimon Joseph, has described 2024 as a year of significant growth and expansion for the UWI campus. In an interview on DBS Radio, Dr. Joseph revealed that there has been a rise in student registrations.
It was a very exciting year for us from start to finish. We had registered some 1,200 participants in our continuing and professional education courses at UWI. If we think back to pre-2019, where we were registering on average about 300 to 350 students, being able to register almost 1,000 more has been a really significant feat for us. We've also improved in terms of the number of courses that we put on offer. We now offer over 50 courses every year compared to about 14, 15 we used to offer before that. And so that is something that we are certainly proud of. In terms of our activities, we were able to return to some of the lectures that we had put on hiatus during the COVID time. And so in 2024, we successfully hosted 3 lecture series.
Head of the UWI Global Campus Dominica, Dr. Kimon Joseph. When we move on now to our feature segments, we highlight another young entrepreneur. Alicia Stedman, who owns Pretty Lady Store in Maho, was named the Dominica Youth Business Trust Determined Female Entrepreneur of the Year on Wednesday. Alicia Stedman is our feature this evening.
I am actually from Campbell, the village of Campbell, but Pretty Lady is located in Mao, on the highway to be exact. Pretty Lady is a local beauty store supplying everything from hair to all your nail supplies, as well as hair, tools, and everything for your beauty needs.
Where did that idea come from?
It was actually as a result of a shortage I realized for persons in the beauty industry trying to source everyday beauty items. So that's when I went ahead and I did my market research, and I found that that would have been a good business idea.
What about assistance in terms of who are the people assisting you in this venture?
Well, currently I am the only staff at Pretty Lady, but prior to me being full-time as an entrepreneur, I had one staff, and I must say DYBT has assisted my business very, very much. I got a lot of training. I also got support for their mentorship program, as well as access to funding, which I was able to pay off.
Going forward, what are the plans going forward?
Well, actually, as of this week, we recently launched our website, so this has been a big milestone for us, which has made shopping much easier for the customers. And of course, we are hoping to grow the business and possibly even extend to shipping to Caribbean islands and even internationally and stuff like that.
What will this award this afternoon, what will this award do for you?
Oh, I must say that it has really made me very happy, and I must say that a lot of my customers are very proud to see that Pretty Lady Alicia Stedman is the one who got this award, and it will really put us more on the map, I would have to say, especially with the exposure for the media and stuff like that. We are located Maho on the highway, across from the Caribbean, in the vicinity of the Belfast area, across from the vegetable seedling place and the laundry.
Owner of Pretty Lady Store in Maho, Alicia Stedman. I'll be back with regional and international developments.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS News.
In news from the region, the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is emerging as the destination to watch in the Caribbean, with a record-breaking growth rate in stay-over arrivals for 2024, up some 25% from its 2023 numbers. The announcement was made by the country's Minister of Tourism, Carlos James. According to the minister, the destination surpassed its targets, jumping to a 25.6% increase in stay-over arrivals year on year and a 39% increase over 2019, one of the country's best years prior to the global health pandemic. And internationally, the Supreme Court did not give TikTok a last-minute stay of execution. If the popular social media site is going to continue to operate in the U.S., it will have to be politicians or businessmen, not judges, who save it. And the politicians pressed to balance national concerns about China with TikTok's massive American user base are taking notes. This includes the incoming president, who is both a politician and a businessman. Sports is next. Stay tuned.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
And we bowl off with cricket news this evening. A near-century stand between Mohammad Rizwan and Saud Shakil has swung the momentum on the opening day of the first test between Pakistan and the West Indies in favor of Pakistan. The Windies had Pakistan under some pressure at 46 for 4, but Rizwan and Shakil hit an unbeaten 97-run partnership to guide Pakistan to a day one score of 143 for 4 in the 41 overs possible today. Shakil ended not out on 56 and Rizwan 51 not out. Jaden Seales ended the day with figures of 3 for 21 and Gudakesh Moti 1 for 45. Here now is Jaden Seales with his thoughts on the opening day of play.
It's about backing the skills and backing the preparation that we had in Islamabad and knowing that if we get the balls in the right areas, we could be fortunate enough to get the edges to carry and it paid dividends for us today.
75 wickets now for you. This is your 18th game. What are you working on to become better?
For me, it's all about being able to hit that length as much as possible, just draw the batsmen forward, force them to play a false shot and try to put away the bad balls as much as possible.
Naturally, you look to get the ball away from the right-hander, but you were getting enough movement both ways and from round the wicket as well.
Yeah, it's something I've been working on over the past couple of years, developing my other ball and obviously strengthening my stock ball and trying to get the batsmen set up for it and not knowing which one's coming next.
How much did you enjoy your year playing for Sussex and that helped you as a bowler? How did it help you and what did you work on in the English summer?
It allowed me to express myself a lot more, understand conditions, understand myself as a player and as a bowler, and play around with different positions with the ball and try and get the ball to do different things for me, and it's obviously working out for me now and I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
After this first, session and a half, where do you see the game? What does West Indies need to do? What do you need them to keep them down to?
I think we just need to continue bowling good balls. There's always a chance in the pitch. I feel like once you bowl good balls as spinners and as the fast bowlers, there's always something in the pitch for us. So it's a matter of just bowling our good balls for as long as possible, and I think probably about 250 odd is probably good on this pitch.
This fast bowler Jaden Seales play resumes at 12:30 on Saturday morning Caribbean time. Meantime, cricket commentator Fazia Mohammed says the decision to drop the vice-captain Joshua De Silva is warranted. De Silva was dropped following a string of poor performances. He has been replaced in the side by Tevin Imlach.
Well, I think it's a bold move when you look at the fact that he really hasn't contributed in the last two series against Bangladesh and South Africa. And they're therefore sending a message to him as well, because clearly having elevated him to the vice-captaincy, they would have seen him as someone with some leadership potential. But having done that, you've got to contribute. Yes, behind the stumps, he's reasonably safe. He is prone to the odd error. But again, with such a weak batting lineup, you're expected to contribute a bit more than averaging 22 as he did all of last year, even though he had a few good bits in the series against England earlier in the year as well. So it's not surprising, but again, I think it's more about sending a message. And yes, he's been dropped, but as we've discussed it already, even talking about the India-Australia series, there seems to be this fear of saying that someone has been dropped. Well, he's been dropped. And therefore, the message has been sent to him that he needs to be far more productive with the bat to get back in the team.
Cricket commentator Fazia Mohammed. Football news now. St. Joseph FC are into the finals of the DFA Division 1 League. And more importantly, just one win away from guaranteed Premier League football as they picked up a comfortable win against the RC Doctors in the Division 1 semi-finals last night. St. Joseph took down the RC Doctors 3-0. St. Joseph benefited from 2 own goals and got a third goal from Omari Walter. St. Joseph FC will meet the winner of the other semi-final match between the Do It Centre Mighty Avengers and DSFC. That game was scheduled for last night but was postponed at the 11th hour. The two teams were scheduled to meet at 6 p.m. to resume their match, which was stopped prematurely in the first half back in November. That semi-final match will now be played on Sunday. This now means that the third place match will be played next Wednesday, and the finals of the Division 1 competition will be held next Thursday. A half-century from Abia James as the Dr. Mark Risers picked up a narrow win over Buster Warner as the Kasani Laville Maho Softball T20 Cricket League continued last night in Maho. Dr. Mark Risers batted first and got 142 for 8 in 15 overs. Abia James got 52, Terry Ogis 33. Michael Antoine took 3 for 37 and John Lewis 2 for 16 for the Warner team. Warner replied with 139 all out in 13.4 overs. Ryan Bruni made 25 and Daryl Ogis 24 runs. Abia James took 2 for 34. Andy Matthew 2 for 24 and Terry Ogis 2 for 40. Dr. Mark Risers won by 3 runs. The league continues with Red Force playing the Police at 6:30 p.m. and Sufria Night Riders will play Sunrise Park Rangers at 9 p.m. Second Vice President of the Dominica Cricket Association, Liam Sebastian, is backing under-19 player Amir Gilbert to do well at the upcoming under-19 World Cup in Malaysia. The Windies will play their first match on Sunday morning against India. Sebastian says Gilbert and the West Indies team is a proud moment for Dominica's cricket.
It's a big moment for Dominica's cricket. You made mention of Alec and Cavem. They are basically our flagship cricketers that they are the highest level in terms of cricket, so they will get a lot more press than some of the others. But we are not forgetting the others who are earning the accolades. And certainly, I'm here, following the footsteps of Ernie Shana Bini. We're very happy for that, and that can only boost women's cricket as well. And I don't have to say it openly in terms of what we say, because I spoke to her last night before her game against New Zealand. She's in good spirits. She's relishing the opportunity, and we're happy for that, as she is not only representing the West Indies, but first she's representing herself, her family, and her country. So she's an ambassador out there, and she's relishing the challenge. And so far, she has been doing good in the 2 matches that they have played so far. So we just wanted to continue. She knows she has the support of the Cricket Association. And then before she left, there was a press conference. Also, there was a small token to her given to her before she left from us. But as we say, we just wanted to go to the focus on her cricket and just do what it takes to represent herself, her country, her family, and the West Indies proud.
Second Vice President of the Dominica Cricket Association, Liam Sebastian. The World Cup gets underway tonight if Australia play in Scotland. England will take on Ireland and Nigeria will play Samoa. And West Indies head coach Shane Dietz is hoping the ladies can bounce back following the disasters from the Indian tour as they get set to face Bangladesh this weekend. The Windies lost the 3-match ODI series to India 3-0. The Windies coach is hoping the girls will be stronger at home. The series starts on Sunday in St. Kitts.
Yeah, well, obviously we had a tough tour to India, so we've got to bounce back, and particularly ODI cricket first up. We want to make sure our batters in particular get off to a good start. We get some good runs on the board, And with the new ball as well, our bowlers work better and get some penetration with the new ball. I think both times the power play, batting and bowling, we struggled a bit in India, so that's a big area we want to focus on and get off to a good start with bat and ball and then drive the game from there on in. Yeah, it's crucial, series, to get some combinations going. A few players are playing for positions too, so we need them to put their hand up. So there's great opportunities for players here, and that's what we want to see, players in pressure situations be able to perform. That's what's going to be required, when we go to the qualifiers, which is going to be a tough tournament. All the teams are playing for their futures there, so that's going to be a really pressurised situation. So we want the players to perform well under pressure, get some combinations with bat and ball happening, so we can take that momentum, have a good win here and take that momentum and combinations to the qualifiers. Obviously, we've got our superstars that perform a lot of the time, but there's a few other players. I think Cherry Ann Fraser's had a good time in Tasmania the last 4 months playing and training there, so I'm looking forward to seeing her with the ball and get some wickets penetration early, which is what we're looking for. And, with the bat, there's a few girls that got opportunities here as well. Larissa Crafton, Gajnami, DJ, they've all got opportunities to be able to put their name forward. So I want to see some of those other players step up and have some good performances on this tour.
West Indies head coach Shane Dates. That's how we end the DBS evening news and sports. We'll have another major package at 7 tomorrow morning. Join us then. Good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 17th day of January 2025. We begin with the evening edition of the DBS Radio death announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Madeline Blaze, better known as Ma Blaze, and Mabel, age 96, of Hagley, Grand Bay. She died on Friday, the 27th of December in Grand Bay. She was the mother of daughters Flora Commodore in Dominica, Julia Dover, Genevieve Lewis, Marie Blaise Francis, Vernice George, and Myrtle Blaise in Orlando, Florida. That should be in Orlando, Florida, and Louvain John Baptist, better known as Royette. Her son, Einstein Blaise, in Texas. She will also be remembered by her sisters, Josephine Commodore, better known as Maikut, Anne Bastien, Claudia John Baptist, better known as Cece, and Marie Fabienne. Her brothers, Paul and Mark Bastien, her grandsons, Kenny Dover, Kurt John Lewis, McMorris, Nigel, Frank and Roland Commodore, Steve Regis, Derrickson, Blaise, Craig, Dale, and Jadine George. Her granddaughters, Arnolda King, Natalie Commodore Jude, Mary Commodore Francis, Tasha George, Gisnelle Commodore Liebert, Nicole Blaise, Tamara George, and Ashanti Francis. Sons-in-law, Maurice Commodore, Avondale George, better known as Rocco, Timothy John Baptist, better known as Eddie. Daughters-in-law, Nazarene and Jessie Blaise. Cousin, Gustav Williams. Sister-in-law, Althea Bastian. 52 great-grandchildren, 8 great-great-grandchildren, 39 nieces and nephews, 54 grandnieces, and 60 great-grandnephews. Caregiver Kenny, Philippa, and Benson Alexander, better known as Pio or Payo, Lucinda Romaine, Emma and Estelle, special friends Ed and family, Ivonia and family, Vanya and Suzerain and family, Jermaine, Gunn, the Bastion, Liverpool, Matthew and Pharaoh families, and other friends and relatives, names too numerous to mention. She was predeceased in death by her parents, Madeline Matthew and Thomas Bastian, and her husband, Edward Blaze. The body of the late Madeline Blaze, better known as Ma Blaze, and Mabel of Grand Bay, can be viewed from 2:30 p.m. on Monday, the 20th of January, at the Grand Bay Roman Catholic Church. The funeral mass will take place at 3 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Grand Bay Catholic Cemetery. Management and staff of your nation station DBS Radio extends deepest condolences to the family of the late Madeline Blaze.
And now, your community bulletin board.
Welcome to this evening's edition of the general announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. University of the West Indies, UWI, announces continuing and professional education courses in the following, starting on the 27th of January 2025. Building and Construction Management, 10 weeks. Advanced Counseling, 13 weeks. Customer Service, 6 weeks. Entrepreneurship and New Venture Creation, 10 weeks. Financial Risk Management, 10 weeks. Fundamentals of Special Education, 10 weeks. Human Resource Management, 6 weeks. Introduction to Counseling, 13 weeks. Introduction to Supervisory Management, 13 weeks. Principles of Teaching Young Children, 10 weeks. Public Speaking and Professional Presentation Skills, 10 weeks. Sales and Marketing Management, 6 weeks. Quantity Surveying, 10 weeks. 6-week courses are $300, 10-week courses are $500, and 13-week courses are $650. The deadline for registration is Wednesday, the 22nd of January 2025. Call 285-3482 for more details. The management and staff of the Northeastern Funeral Association wishes their patrons and all Dominicans by extension a happy and blessed New Year and a successful 2025. Members and patrons of the Northeastern Funeral Association in Corleho and environs should take note that a NIFA representative will be available in that area for annual collections and other matters of interest on Wednesday the 22nd and Wednesday the 29th of January. So Wednesday the 22nd of January and Wednesday the 29th of January, and also Wednesday the 5th of February 2025. For patrons in the Grand Bay area, the Grand Bay office will be open to serve you on Mondays and Fridays until further notice. Maho and environs can make payments at the Foncole branch office. Please be guided accordingly. The National Bank of Dominica Limited notice of nominations for Board of Directors. In preparation for the 20th Annual General Meeting, shareholders of NBD are invited to nominate suitable individuals for election to serve on the Board of Directors. All nominees must meet the fit and proper requirements in the Banks Act, its amendments of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and all relevant regulations to support the bank in achieving its strategic objectives. Shareholders are encouraged to nominate candidates with expertise in one or more of the following areas: human resource, business acumen, corporate governance, marketing, legal expertise, information technology and information management, risk management oversight, strategic management oversight, finance, financial literacy, financial oversight. Please submit your completed nomination form to the Corporate Secretary Office by Tuesday, the 21st of January 2025. No late submissions will be considered. Shareholders can collect the nomination form at any of NBD's branches or by downloading the form from the bank's website at www.nbdominica.dm. All nominees must sign the nomination form and provide their resume with a short biography. For further information or assistance, please email the Corporate Secretary at corporatesecretary@nbd.dm, or you can call 767-255-2320 or 767-255-2313. The public is informed of road closure for blasting operations at the terminal area, the western part of Wesley, on Monday the 25th. Monday the 20th of January. That should be Monday the 20th of January, between the hours of 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Please be guided accordingly. We've come to the end of the general announcements. We have some what's on like these.
The Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development and the Cultural Division presents Old Mas Juve. Yes, Old Mas Juve. So Vini, come, indulge yourself in the sound of Lapo Cabwet. See the big bottom ladies roll and shibule with the sensei. There'll also be stilt walkers, silpen music, and more. So join us, Vini Messier, on February 8th at 4 a.m. in Bath Estate for Old Mas Juve, and get hit by a wave of nostalgia for the Old Mas we once loved. Do you remember when Pan was king? Well, the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development and the Cultural Division presents Pan in the City Street Jump Up in memory of the late Wilfred Poncho John Baptist, Edward Andre, and Alan John Baptist on Friday, January 24th, 2024 at 6 p.m. on the Bayfront. There'll be guest performances by Pan in Harmony, Pussy Culture, and guess what? Kwan, Little Boy,